The Atlantic Ocean is a place of immense power. For much of the year, it sends gentle waves to the shores of the United Kingdom and Ireland. But in winter, its mood shifts. The ocean becomes a monster. Imagine standing on a cliff as the sky turns gray and the wind howls from the sea. Waves rise up, crowned with white foam, exploding against the cliffs with thunderous force. The wind rips tiles from rooftops, topples lorries, and rain saturates the ground. It's a humbling reminder. We are small on a planet, ruled by immense forces, and these storms are no longer rare. They are the new normal. It's not just the strength of a single storm that's the problem, it's their relentless succession. One storm barely passes before the next appears, a phenomenon known as storm clustering. The Met Office races through the alphabet: Agnes, Babet, Sierra and Debbie, a parade of destruction. The impact is devastating. A single storm might cause flooding, but if another arrives days later, it hits land already saturated. Rivers are swollen, the ground is a soaked sponge, and even a weaker storm can cause severe flooding. Each system compounds the last, turning a difficult situation into a crisis. Emergency services are stretched to the limit, working tirelessly through one storm, then bracing for the next. There's no time for rest, just a constant cycle of damage, cleanup, and anxious preparation. This back-to-back pattern is now the signature of our winters. What was once a memorable event is now just the first in a series. Autumn and winter are no longer just cold and wet, they're a period of sustained threat. Communities are caught in a draining cycle, wondering when, or if, peace will return. The relentless rhythm of storms wears down not just infrastructure but spirits. People ask, will we ever get a break from the angry sky? This is the exhausting new reality for millions. Why are these storms becoming more frequent and powerful? The answer lies in the Atlantic Ocean itself. Our oceans are like a giant battery, storing energy from the sun. But climate change is overcharging that battery. The oceans are getting warmer, and even a small increase in temperature holds a colossal amount of extra heat. This extra heat is fuel for storms. A storm is a heat engine, drawing warmth and moisture from the sea and turning it into wind and rain. A warmer ocean means more evaporation, more moisture, and more energy for storms to unleash. Certain areas of the Atlantic have become especially warm, acting like express lanes for developing storms. As a low-pressure system moves over these warm patches, it can intensify rapidly, like gasoline on a fire. The result, storms explode in power, racing toward Europe with greater force. This isn't theory, it's observed reality. The North Atlantic is heating up, and the storms are growing stronger. The fever in our oceans is translating directly into the fury of the storms. Our changing climate is fueling a new era of extreme weather. To understand these storms, we need to look at their mechanics. Scientists use the term bombogenesis, when a storm rapidly intensifies as its central pressure drops dramatically. This creates hurricane-force winds, often supercharged by the jet stream, a high-altitude river of fast-moving air. The jet stream can pull air away from the storm's top, lowering surface pressure even faster and fueling rapid intensification. Climate change is making the jet stream wavier and more erratic, steering supercharged storms toward the UK and Ireland. Warmer oceans mean the air holds more moisture, about 7% more for every degree Celsius of warming. When this moisture-laden air hits land, it releases record-breaking rainfall, overwhelming rivers and drainage. The result, storms like Kieran, combining warm ocean fuel, bombogenesis, and a wobbly jet stream. It's a perfect recipe for a new, more dangerous era of winter weather. One of the most dangerous impacts of these storms is the storm surge, an abnormal rise in sea level generated by the storm itself. It's caused by two main factors: the storm's low pressure, which allows the sea to bulge upward, and relentless winds pushing water toward the coast. When a storm surge coincides with high tide, the effects can be catastrophic, overtopping seawalls, flooding towns, and causing immense destruction. We've seen towns like Aberystwyth and Galway inundated, with waves smashing promenades and flooding businesses. The power of the water is astonishing. It can move cars, destroy buildings, and erode coastlines in hours. As global sea levels rise, the baseline for every tide is higher, so storm surges reach further inland. Coastal defenses built for the past are now less effective. The sea is knocking at our door with increasing force. Our defenses are being tested as never before. The threat is growing, and so is the need to adapt. The relentless storms leave deep scars on the land and its people. In rural areas, farmers watch fields vanish under floodwater, livestock move to higher ground, and precious topsoil washed away. The financial and emotional toll is immense, a year's work lost in a night. In towns and cities, rivers become torrents, flooding homes and businesses, leaving behind devastation and a long, costly cleanup. Infrastructure suffers. Roads submerged, bridges weakened, railways suspended as embankments erode, landslides block transport, cutting off communities for days or weeks. Emergency services are heroes, but they're stretched to the limit, performing rescues and managing chaos. The constant need for repairs strains public finances, diverting resources from vital services. We're in a constant, expensive battle to patch up a country repeatedly broken by the weather. The climate we once knew is gone, replaced by a near-constant state of alert. Beyond dramatic images, these storms deeply disrupt daily life. Getting to work or school becomes a challenge. Trains canceled, roads closed, ferries stranded. This constant uncertainty adds stress and anxiety, making simple plans feel like a gamble. Power cuts are common, plunging neighborhoods into darkness, an inconvenience for most, a danger for the vulnerable. Without heating or medical equipment, lives are at risk. The psychological toll is real. For those flooded before, every storm brings fresh anxiety. The sound of rain is no longer comforting, it's a trigger for fear. Flood anxiety is a growing mental health concern in affected communities. Even our connection with nature changes. Walks require weather checks. Woodlands become dangerous in high winds. The landscapes we cherish are now sources of threat. Our freedom to enjoy the outdoors is curtailed by the weather's growing power. The storms are changing not just our environment, but our way of life. Once, the fiercest storms focused on the southwest of England, Wales, and Ireland. Now data shows a clear trend. Powerful Atlantic cyclones are tracking further north. Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the north of England are increasingly in the firing line. Storms that once weakened now maintain their intensity, bringing hurricane-force winds and flooding to new regions. Infrastructure in these areas wasn't built for such extremes and is being tested as never before. The shift is linked to changes in the jet stream, which is becoming more erratic as the Arctic warms. Large north-south waves in the jet stream steer storms along new paths, pushing cyclones further north. Recent storms like Arwen have left hundreds of thousands without power, highlighting new vulnerabilities. The front line of our battle with the Atlantic is expanding. No part of the UK is immune. The picture may seem bleak, but there is hope. Across the country, a quiet revolution of adaptation and resilience is underway. Communities are proactively preparing for disasters, learning to live with water rather than just fighting it. New flood defenses combine engineering with nature, restoring wetlands, planting trees, and creating salt marshes to absorb storm surges. Innovative projects like Medmerry in Sussex show how nature-based solutions can protect homes and wildlife. Community spirit is proving to be our strongest defense. Flood warden groups monitor rivers, issue warnings, and help neighbors. This grassroots action builds solidarity and empowers people to protect themselves. We stand at a crossroads. The storms will continue, but we are not helpless. We have the science, the engineering, and the community spirit to adapt. By investing in better warning systems and resilient infrastructure, we can face the future with courage. The relentless storms are a challenge, but also a catalyst for innovation and cooperation. Our response will define the next chapter of life on these islands. Together, we can weather the storm.